Happy Friday, everyone. It's 3 p.m. on September 2nd here in Seoul. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Hwang Ji-hye. President Park Geun-hye embarks this afternoon for several multilateral summits. First, she's off to Vladivostok, Russia for the Eastern Economic Forum and talks with President Putin. Then it's the G20 in Hangzhou, China, and finally the ASEAN summit in Laos. Her first stop, President Park will seek to boost cooperation with Russia on the North Korean nuclear issue and also pledge to recruit Korean companies in the development of the Russian Far East. Our Song Ji-sun traveling with the president gives us a preview.
One of President Park's main goals is to convince Beijing and Moscow that the U.S. missile defense system THAAD is a necessary countermeasure to North Korean threats. China and Russia view the system as a possible challenge to their security interests. Before heading to Vladivostok for the Eastern Economic Forum, President Park gave an interview to Russian state-run news agency Rossiya, saying there would be no need for THAAD if Pyongyang put an end to its nuclear threats.
이미 수차례 밝혔듯이 사드는 북한 이외의 어떤 제3국을 겨냥하거나 제3국의 안보 이익을 침해하지 않고 또 할 이유도 없습니다.
Stressing how Pyongyang's provocations threaten not only the Korean peninsula but all of East Asia, Park also pointed to Russia's influence as a permanent member of the UN Security Council.
With North Korea continuing its provocations and violating UN Security Council resolutions, the occasion will be a chance for Seoul and Moscow to enhance cooperation on North Korea and its nuclear issues.
Park also said resolution of Pyongyang's nuclear issues would maximize the economic potential of Russia's Far East. Accompanied by a business delegation, President Park will also hold a business dialogue in Vladivostok to help Korean companies find new opportunities in the port city.
The president's visit to Russia will contribute to developing the country's Far East, while at the same time expanding opportunities for Korean companies to enter the region.
President Park on Saturday will deliver the keynote speech as the Eastern Economic Forum's guest of honor, laying out her vision and Seoul's role in development and growth in the Far East under her Eurasia initiative. Song Ji-sun, Arirang News.
The political gridlock continues at the South Korea's National Assembly following the uproar over Assembly Speaker Chung Se-gyun's address to the body yesterday. Parliament's entire schedule has been put off, including a vote on a proposed $9.8 billion supplementary budget. The ruling Saenuri Party says Chung violated the speaker's duty to remain politically neutral. Chung is now under pressure to either give up his post or hand over his authority to the vice speaker. He has yet to announce a response. In his opening address for the new session, Speaker Chung criticized the government's handling of the deployment of the U.S. missile defense system THAAD and called for the resignation of an embattled aide to President Park Geun-hye, who remains in his position while under investigation by prosecutors. North Korea's launch last week of a ballistic missile from a submarine showed the pace of its weapons development, but some experts say the regime might not wait to completely finish developing the technology before deploying it. Connie Kim reports.
Experts say North Korea could deploy a submarine equipped with a ballistic missile for propaganda effects, even if it hasn't fully developed the technology. Speaking at a conference on Thursday, the head of North Korea monitoring website 38 North, Joel Witt, said Pyongyang could claim to have deployed a missile-capable sub sooner than 2019. Witt said the sub might not be a military threat, but would send shockwaves through the international community. North Korea military expert Joseph Bermudez from All Source Analysis said Pyongyang has in the past deployed weapons for propaganda rather than military purposes. Researcher John Silling from Aerospace Corporation also said North Korea could send a sub out into the EC with 1 or 2 ballistic missiles, but likely as a show of force. The experts say North Korea is still testing out its technology, and at least 1 or 2 SLBM launches are needed to prove its credibility. Pyongyang has fired 3 SLBMs this year, with the most recent one flying some 500 kilometers. South Korean military officials have predicted it'll take at least 2 years to deploy a missile sub, but some experts say that could be brought up to early next year. Connie Kim, Arirang News.
Korea has grown in the 0% range for 3 straight quarters now, fueling concerns over a prolonged period of low growth. The Bank of Korea says the economy expanded 0.8% in the April to June period from the previous quarter. Still, that marks a pickup from the 0.5% growth posted in the first 3 months of this year, largely due to a gain in private consumption. Consumer spending rose 1% on quarter on the back of government measures like consumption tax breaks on automobiles. Construction investment also went up over 3% in the second quarter from the previous one. And now let's take a quick look at the weather. Southern parts of Korea are seeing heavy rain this afternoon. Korea's weather agency expects up to 150 millimeters of rain in Gyeongsang-namdo province today, around 80 millimeters in Gangwon-do and Jeollanam-do provinces. These areas are coming under the indirect influence of Namtheun, Typhoon Namtheun, that's currently barreling toward Japan. There will also be sporadic thunderstorms and gusty winds down south, so take necessary precautions while out and about. Korea's central region, including Seoul, can expect some showers later, but they'll be lighter than the rest of the country. And that brings us to the end of our newscast. Thank you for staying with us. For more updates, stay tuned to Arirang News, and goodbye for now.